almost forgot to turn my little guy on. I get people asking me all the time for scary stories from my life, and you would think that based on how much I've used online dating, I would have some, but really most of the time it's just stories like I'm gonna share today of people who have no manners. You're rude. You just rude. I am no stranger to online dating. I've basically always used online dating. I don't know, I just don't really like the idea of like going out to a bar or something to meet someone to date. Like, you have no idea who that person is. They could be a serial killer or something. And I know that that's what everyone says about people you meet online, but at least you can like check out their Instagram profile. You can figure out quite a bit about someone and their real life before you even decide to meet them, which I think is awesome. So that's kind of why I do it. You can be really upfront about your intentions and what you're looking for and what your interests are and what you're definitely not interested in. And it's just a really cool way to like lay everything out on the table. So I am very pro online dating, but sometimes you have experiences like the ones I'm about to share. As a quick disclaimer before we get in though, these stories are for entertainment purposes only. I am not still upset with these people. I barely even know these people. If for some reason they end up watching this, then like, I'm sorry, but you're rude and you need to learn some manners. Also, I'm obviously not going to be revealing any like personal identifying information about these people, but if for any reason you were to figure out who they are, please do not contact them. They are not in my life for a reason, and if you bring them back into my life by contacting them, then I'll be really pissed. And you are also rude. So believe it or not, sometimes people actually go on Tinder to look for like real long-term relationships, and I am one of those people. Not all the time. I have definitely used it for other things in the past. So I just made sure to put that in my profile, and that is when I met. Let's name this guy Freddie. So I matched with this guy, Freddie. He sounds super interesting. He's also interested in a serious relationship, and I think that we both got just really excited because even though, like I said, there are some people who are looking for serious relationships, it's hard to find those people who are also your type. So I think we both just got like super excited that we were both looking for something serious, and we like jumped into our first date and we were like super totally into each other without really knowing anything about each other because hey, it's me, I am the opposite of a commitment phobe, nice to meet you. So I learned during our conversation that he is in his early 30s, I think he said he was like 32, he's a competitive jiu-jitsu fighter, he owns a house, he's a sous chef, he's got like a lot going for him. He seems pretty friggin' interesting, and when I tell my friends about him, they're like, go on that date. So we go on our first date and he kind of slowly reveals to me some things, like the fact that he's not 32, in fact he is pushing 40. He is not a jiu-jitsu fighter, he just works out at a jiu-jitsu gym like every other guy in Boston. So he didn't graduate high school. He also used to be a sous chef, you know, when he was 32, you know, from when all of his Tinder pictures were from. And he now works at like a cafeteria. And I probably sound really judgmental saying all this, but honestly, I would have been 100% okay with all of this if I had known that from the beginning. But there's just like something really off-putting about going out on a first date with someone and finding out that literally everything that you thought was true about them from like your weeks of conversations are actually not true. Actually, we probably didn't even talk for weeks. It was probably just days, but still, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. But I figured, hey, he was still really nice, I had a good time with him, let me give him a second shot. Not too long later, I find out that he, how am I gonna word this? Let's just say he made a political decision that I feel quite strongly about, that I did not agree with. Again, wanting to give this guy the benefit of the doubt because I'm nice sometimes, I decided I would talk to him about it, talk to him about like why it made me uncomfortable, instead of just like throwing him out the door. But instead he replied by being extremely judgmental about my political decisions and my moral and ethical opinions, and then purposely misgendered my best friend, and then I was basically like, okay, cool, fuck you, get out of here. Oh, also, just as a quick detail, he also didn't own a house. He rented a unit in a house. Once again, like everyone else in Boston, like, yeah, we all live in a house. That's like where people live. It's actually relatively rare for people to live in an apartment building. Anyway, I admittedly made this pretty like lame and immature Snapchat story where I like took a picture of myself looking all sad and was like, RIP my love life. I fucking hate myself sometimes. We had already stopped following each other on Snapchat and he was clearly like actively still checking on me and replies to it with this long angry rant like personally insulting me. So look, we'll just say that that ended pretty soon after that. So he starts dating someone else and decides to like text me about this like whole relationship that he's in, and it's just like really sad. I feel so bad, but like if this guy wasn't such an asshole I wouldn't be laughing, but like you're an asshole, Freddie, if you're watching this. So Freddie tells me all about his very young new girlfriend that he got, but like no judgment here, whatever. And I'm like, cool, whatever. Eventually our conversation fizzled out. And like months later, I post something about how I'm going to the Boston Tattoo Convention and he again reaches out and says, hey, my girlfriend and I will be there. We'll stop by and say hi. What? Why? What is your intention there? Like, what the fuck? What do you think you're going to accomplish? We are not on good terms. You and your girlfriend aren't even on good terms because she's ready to like move to Europe with some dude that she's in love with or like whatever the story was. Like, sorry to be you, dude. Sure enough, I'm at the Boston Tattoo Convention. I am about like 3 hours into my 6-hour extremely painful tattoo and I see him walk by. I know it's him because I can see his like really cheesy 90s flame half sleeve. I should have known how old he was as soon as I saw that. I'm sorry, that was rude. That was rude. I'm sorry. When I finally post a picture of my tattoo, he messages me on Instagram and says like, haha, must have just missed you. I seriously felt like I had like just broken up with a girl that I was dating in high school and she was trying to be like as petty as possible. But instead I was talking to an almost 40-year-old man who needs to learn how to move on.